guys, today I'm going to be making a strawberry cheesecake recipe. It is my birthday tomorrow, and rather than go out and buy something, I'm just going to bake something that I know I'm going to love. Every time I make this cheesecake, I get so many compliments, and it's a recipe that was given to me by some of my friends. So stick around if you want to learn how to make it.
So we're going to start with the prep. You're going to need a cheesecake pan, a piece of parchment paper, some scissors, and then you're also going to need a piece of aluminum foil that we will use a little bit later on. So the idea is that you want to open your cheesecake pan, and you're going to want to place this under your parchment paper. And you're going to want to place this over. Okay, once you've placed it over, you want to close it. And then you're going to want to cut around. You're going to want to cut around the edges. So we're going to go ahead and cut around this just a bit. It doesn't have to be neat. Just needs to be evenly cut. So that's how it's going to look. And then you're going to want to kind of fold this up a bit. And then place your Reynolds wrap or your aluminum foil on top of it. And you want all the edges to be covered with Reynolds wrap because you're going to be cooking this in a steam bath or water bath, baño Maria, whatever it's called in English. So this is to ensure that you don't get any water in your cheesecake. Okay, so make sure it is well protected. Alright, so first thing is first, we are going to be making the crust. I used Honey Made graham crackers. I'm going to be using 2 packages. Don't ask me how much it is in cups because I don't know. So we kind of want to break them up a bit before we throw them in here. And I just use a blender because it is the easiest way to crush them with minimal effort. Alright, if you see some clumps, just move them along with your spatula and just keep grinding. Alright, so once you have pulverized your graham crackers, you can move them over to a Pyrex bowl. So this is my second package. And we are going to want to add about 4 ounces of unsalted butter to that. All right, so I've added 4 ounces of butter. Now I'm going to add 2 more ounces. And I'm going to work that in. You want your graham cracker crust to be a little wet. Not too wet. You still want it to be kind of sandy. But the idea is that you want it to stick so that you can actually form a crust. I'm going to transfer it to my cheesecake pan. Careful not to make any mess. I hate messes. And we're going to start to work this in. Alright, so we're going to start assembling our pie crust. I kind of like to work the ends in a little bit. I mean, obviously it doesn't have to be perfect, but I want a pretty cake. Alright, so I just wanted to show you guys the crust. It is now ready to be put in the freezer. It will remain in the freezer while you work through your cheesecake batter. Alright, so we are going to start on our cheesecake batter now. I've already added 3 Philadelphia cream cheese. You need to add 4 8-ounce packages. Yeah, you heard right, 4. There's a ton of cream cheese that goes in here. And we're gonna start working that by themselves. And we're gonna start mixing the cream cheese by itself before we actually add the other ingredients. Alright, so now we're going to be adding half a cup of sour cream. A cup and a half of granulated sugar. Two tablespoons of vanilla, and of course I'm going to be using la vencedora, which is a Mexican vanilla. I'm just going to add a little more. I like a lot of vanilla. And lastly, before we give everything a mix, we're going to be needing 5 eggs. Here comes my dog, because whenever I don't use the yolks, I give them to him. Alright, so now it's time to mix everything together. I'm going to start on a low speed and work my way up. I just don't want everything to splash everywhere and make a mess. Don't freak out if you see that. You just need to give it some time. So like I said, don't freak out if your cream cheese is still clumped up. Just keep mixing it and it'll end up really homogeneous looking. This is pretty much the consistency you want before you put it into your baking sheet. Right, so important thing, guys, you don't want to overmix your batter. You just want everything to look nice and silky. And as soon as you see this texture, you're good to go. All right, so I have removed my pie crust from the freezer where it has been. And now I'm going to transfer the cheesecake batter. Don't want to leave anything behind. Also makes for an easier cleanup. Alright, so you just want to even this out a bit just to make sure it looks nice. It's going to be decorated and covered with strawberries, so no worries. Alright, so this is ready to start baking. You want to preheat your oven to 475. Alright, so because we are cooking this in a water bath, you want a dish that can hold at least an inch. If you have something deeper, awesome. So I'm not going to fill it up with water now because it's a hassle to move it into my oven. But I will be filling it up with an inch of water before I stick it into bake at 475 for 10 minutes. Alright, so I've already filled up my bottom sheet with an inch or so of water. Now I'm going to go ahead and stick it into the oven on 475 for 10 minutes and then about 50 to 55 minutes on 350 after that. Alright, so here is my cheesecake after it has been baking for 10 minutes on 475. Then I brought it down to 350 for another 50 minutes. Do not worry about that cracking, not a problem. It's going to be decorated, so it's going to look great. Alright, so I have let my cheesecake sit overnight in the refrigerator. If you don't have all night to let it sit, you want to let it sit for a minimum of 4 to 6 hours. I have chopped some strawberries just in half, and these are going to be decorative. And then I've sliced some, and I just bought some store-bought glaze for the filling. And I will be using a Swiss meringue buttercream, chocolate buttercream that I made a couple days ago, and because this is personalized for me, I'm a chocoholic, so I prefer to use chocolate buttercream. All right, so we have to remove our cheesecake. Look how beautiful it looks after it's set. So we're gonna remove all of this stuff. And we're just gonna wanna open this up and slowly kind of pull it apart. Comes my dog. All right, so look at how beautiful that looks. No, Keanu, do not eat it. Just zoom in on that. Goodness. Yeah, no. All right, so we're gonna be removing the parchment paper. Want to be just a bit careful this part because we're gonna transfer it to our decorative. Okay, so I'm going to be decorating the cake now. I've just placed it on a little swivel. So I'm using this chocolate buttercream, Swiss meringue buttercream that I made. Now, just to finish off the decorations, I'm going to be adding my sliced strawberries to the middle with the store-bought glaze. You can make your own glaze. I'm running a little on time today, so did not do that. Alright, and just to finish off our decorative piece, I'm going to be placing half of a strawberry on each of these little indentations that I purposefully left between the buttercream. And voila, our strawberry cheesecake is done. Well, I should say it's a Swiss meringue buttercream cheesecake. Like I said, I like chocolate a lot, so let me get a close-up of this so you guys can see.